Why is Chick-fil-A so successful? Chick-fil-A has become a household name in the fast food restaurant industry, known for its exceptional service, quality food, and strong brand identity. Let's begin with the numbers. Profitability. Of all the restaurant chains, the big ones, Chick-fil-A is number 3. You have Starbucks with 35 million. We have McDonald's with...
This is profit.
Profit.
Yearly?
Profitability, yes.
Okay.
And we have McDonald's with 25 billion. Chick-fil-A is a close third, 21 billion.
That's huge.
That's incredible.
That's nuts.
Despite having the least amount of chain restaurants compared to...
Anybody.
Well, at least compared to
least
the
Three,
competition.
yeah.
And they're outperforming despite being closed on Sundays.
Don't you love that?
You know how much money you have to make to
about it.
lop a whole day off?
You cut a whole day off, and that just proves...
It proves that you don't have to...
To kill your people to make it work.
Okay, Chick-fil-A, let's continue with the Chick-fil-A profitability.
Yeah.
It's 14 times higher profit margins per location.
I believe it.
Compared to McDonald's and Starbucks, despite having...
They have 10%. They have 10% of the restaurants that these people have.
That's a great point.
Think about that.
That is a great point.
10%.
And killing them.
And they are only $4 billion behind McDonald's. Okay?
Which...
Another 14 behind Starbucks, but still, 10%. They're working with 10% of the area space, and they are laying the murder game down to that kind of profit margin. With a day off lopped off.
That's incredible. I mean, that's why we're even doing the show around Chick-fil-A, because I remember the first time my daughter wanted to go to Chick-fil-A. And I'm not that big on fast food, but we're big into the restaurant industry. And we really wanted to dissect why it is that restaurants...
You love the Jesus chicken?
Why do people love the Jesus chicken? So you mentioned 10% of the locations. Starbucks has about 38,000 locations, which is... I have been to malls or cities. I went to Chicago.
And you can have multiple in one mall.
I've rounded the corner
and see another one.
And seen another Starbucks.
Yes.
In the same block.
Why they can get away with that for Starbucks, we'll just delve into it for a quick second, is because their imprint's so small. You know, they don't need an exuberant amount of space to do something like that. They can almost do like a takeout window kind of thing because they're doing coffee. So you can have more. It can be in a hotel. Okay. And just have like a little, you know, and I think they count those as locations. Even though they're little satellite spots, they're still kind of locations. So they're able to. Whereas a McDonald's,
40,000 locations.
And they're everywhere, but they have to use a full footprint.
Okay, let's dig in a little bit more. They keep it simple.
Yo, it's one, they do one thing and do it right. I mean, they do chicken. They didn't cross over and implement other things. They do the one thing, they do it right now. They have different variations of it, but it's not an overwhelming extent of it. They do their chicken, and they do it the right way, and they call it a day.
It's a limited menu. Like you said, they do chicken, right?
Yeah.
It's not like they're doing chicken 100 different ways. No. Like McDonald's are doing burgers 100 different ways, different buns, different SKUs. It's like a mini Costco. Like, you ever notice Costco's they sell a limited amount. It's a big place.
Yeah.
But they sell a lot of a little bit of things.
Stuff. Yeah, exactly.
And so if it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
Don't fix it.
Yo, they far from being broke. After you showed me this, I was like, shit, I might have to be a damn Chick-fil-A owner, yo.
Oh, can you imagine? We'll get into the owner-operator in a little bit. But centered around the iconic sandwich, this approach avoids the menu bloat.
Yeah.
And Chick-fil-A, they started the first chain as a diner in 1946 by Truett Cathy, and under the name Dwarf Grill. However, it wasn't until 1967 that Cathy opened up the first official restaurant named Chick-fil-A.
In the Greenbrier Shopping Center.
So they're sticking to it. They're sticking to their guns.
Yeah.
And it's the same recipe since 1967.
I wonder if the menu was even less back then. Was it just a chicken sandwich and some fries?
If the philosophy holds true, it was probably chicken sandwich and fries.
Yeah.
Because they claim to have invented the chicken sandwich. So I can only imagine because they've stayed true to their veins all the way through. Let's take a look at the drive-thru. And I mentioned earlier that one of the first times I've ever taken my daughter to Chick-fil-A, that's the first time I've ever had it. I've only had it a handful of times.
Yeah, they have. I mean, obviously, we already know they're printing money. Okay. There's a Chick-fil-A up the street from here, not that far.
Yes.
Literally, when you drive by it, it's out into the street. Okay.
And avoid
McDonald's
that lane.
is next door to it, and there's never a line.
It's never a line for
But
McDonald's.
Chick-fil-A is a line out the street. Sometimes when I used to live over there, and
You used to live right around the
yeah,
corner.
I would come through the back and park my car and just go into the store because I was not dealing with the line. And it moves fast, but just
does.
It's just the idea of being in the street was what scared me. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, this is a busy street.
It's a main I wouldn't say highway, but it's a main vein.
Oh yeah.
That connects north and south.
It's not like a 95 highway, but it is still a highway if you want to call it. Yes.
It's got 3 lanes per side.
Exactly.
And one of those lanes is a Chick-fil-A lane. And speaking, I've not seen too many other drive-thrus that have multiple lanes, 2 and 3 lanes like they do. So when you get committed to a drive-thru there, they make sure that it gets
it's streamlined. I mean, they have kids outside.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and this is at multiple locations, not just the one I'm talking about. Multiple locations where you see the kids outside and they're running at least, like you said, at least the 2 drive-through sides.
Yes.
And you see 4 or 5 kids grabbing your order, so if you have a card, you can run it with them right away. And there might be one other person who just has the cash on them that you'll go see if they don't, so, I mean, but they are streamlining everything. Before you ever even get to the window, they know your name. They have all of it mapped out.
When I think of Chick-fil-A, it reminds me of going to Disney. When you're in line at Disney and you have the different stations that you think you're somewhere, but they show you a little movie, a little dance. It's kind of what those stations are when you're in the Chick-fil-A line and the employee comes up. It mitigates your sense of waiting for a long time because you know your food is coming because your order is taken. However, if you're at, like, let's say a Wendy's line, there's no intermediary.
You're waiting for the thing. And I will give it to Chick-fil-A because they were the first ones to do it because this started happening like right around COVID when things were, when you couldn't really go out as much.
They didn't always do it?
No. Oh, no. It used to be more. Now, they always had the 2. As they got bigger, they automatically went to the 2 lines.
Okay, they had multiple lanes is what you're saying.
Multiple lanes, but they didn't have the people out until after COVID. And that's when I started noticing being more and more, and they started being more prevalent at all the locations. And because it just worked, it was a philosophy that started to work. Because we were less going into the store and more just going through the car because of the situation that the world was in.
Okay. Now, let's talk about customer service. We mentioned the employees and the line. Always polite.
Always very nice. Usually high school kids or maybe a little bit older, but very polite. They look like they're having fun together. You see them kind of communicating, which brings light to any situation naturally.
It's very important to have someone there that it increases the accuracy of your order.
Absolutely.
If someone is there with the tablet or point of sale,
because they repeat it to you, you're right there. It's boom, 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 and you get. And which so many businesses are lacking lately. It gives you the human touch, which is so important.
That makes a ton of sense.
Yes.
I have been to, for instance, there's the rest stop. Mm-hmm. They have the McDonald's and the Nathan's and the this and that. They have a big placard of an impersonal
drives me crazy.
And the human touch matters.
It matters so much more. Oh man, I mean, I mean, businesses should really get back to that kind of motto because it's true hospitality on the lowest level, on the lowest tier of service, and they give you true hospitality.
And it also flows into employee motivation.
Absolutely,
because now we're going into the fact that Chick-fil-A structures and fosters a strong career path for their employees, where employees often become upper management often become owner-operators and things like that. And so They also offer some locations offer scholarships for their
Really?
employees, and helping them pursue higher education. That is going to
That's being a part of the community. You love that.
love it. And so let's talk. We talked about the path to a franchise ownership, but their franchise ownership is a little bit different than
Yeah, because you
most.
can't just put a Chick-fil-A anywhere. Okay, that's legit. You can't. They're always, and this is just from watching and seeing how they work things. They're always spaced out. They're not like think
They're not cannibalizing each
No,
other.
there's not like from the Chick-fil-A from the one that's closest to us right here to the one that the next one which is in Pompano. There are probably 6 McDonald's between the two. 6, if not more.
Oh wow,
Think about that, what I just said.
that's incredible.
Yes. And I'm just counting off the top of the head. And I can't even count how many Starbucks.
Well, yeah, that's not because you can't even see all the Starbucks.
Yes.
They're
in their locations.
We have them in grocery stores
Yeah.
here, in hotels, every which way. The franchise model. Let's talk about the franchise
Talk to
model.
me. Let's do it.
Whereas when you own a typical fast food restaurant, be it McDonald's, be it Wendy's, you are shelling out about
A good chunk. Yeah.
You're shelling out a lot of money, and you are being supported, yes, by the corporation, but Chick-fil-A does it one step further.
Yeah.
You're considered an operator as
Yeah.
a franchise owner, let's just say.
And it's a 50-50 split, right?
Because Chick-fil-A,
Make sure that everything is across the board 100% the same. Is what I'm guessing. Is that how it works?
each location, the land, the building, the equipment are all owned by Chick-fil-A. And so thus, it's all managed by the operators. So the owners are actually operators. They to become an operator, we'll talk about how challenging it is, but they only require you to put $10,000.
I could do that.
And it ends up, yes, right?
I could do that.
But it ends up being more of a deposit because if for whatever reason
If you
you're
pull
in
out,
good
you get your
standing-
money back. As long as you leave, you put your 2 weeks in, and you leave with a smile on your face. You get your deposit back.
Yes. Operators can make up to around $4 million annually.
That's beautiful.
But it's not easy.
No, I'm sure it's not.
Well, they have a notoriously low acceptance rate.
I heard it's like 1% of like the applicants.
Out of 10,000 applicants annually, only a few hundred individuals are selected to become Chick-fil-A operators.
That's like going to be an NFL player.
I mean,
Coming from, that's like, you got your dreams, aspiration coming out of high school and college. And yeah, only about 100 of you kids are going to make it to the pros. But that's okay.
it's okay. It's incredible because they really want you to have been in the family, first of all, of the Chick-fil-A family.
Work for them, XYZ, yeah, and understand their corporate standards.
And their values.
Yes.
They're very strong with their values, okay? That's one of the reasons why they close on Sundays, because it's a day of worship, it's a day of rest, it's a day of recuperating, and a day of not burning out your employees.
Absolutely.
They have been, a little bit controversial with their stances on things, but that's what makes them
Yeah, but they also
unique
came
as
out
well.
the gate like that. So, I mean, they just stick by what they believe.
Yeah, that's true. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
And let's talk about their marketing a little bit. It's a little bit edgy. Their marketing strategy is a little bit
It's
different.
hilarious. Yeah, so as I'm coming here today, I had dropped a family member off at the airport, and I'm coming, and you have coming off of the exit, there's a massive billboard for Chick-fil-A, and your closest Chick-fil-A is probably 2-3 miles away. So it's not even next to the damn Chick-fil-A. It's not like you're coming off your exit and you're seeing a Chick-fil-A. It is right there in your face, and they have no idea where it is. But the cow,
Yes.
the
Eat more chicken.
More chicken.
And it's based on humor.
Yeah.
And it's based on being different, and they connect with their target audience.
Absolutely.
Their customers. They know them well. And whatever reason, they're
We ain't got beef. Save my beef. Beef, it's not what's for dinner.
it's very, very clever, and it's become a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
And so their ads are very memorable, like you said. It stands out. Now we'll touch upon their growth strategy. Okay, they, like we said, what did we say? 2,900 locations.
2,900 locations
2,900 locations
compared to the monsters that are doing
40,000, 35,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Now they are deliberate, slow, and they avoid debt.
Yes.
They really do want to come from a position of strength where they own the land, not from the leverage of debt and have those... have
that over their head.
And so they expand only when they have enough money, contributing for a less stressful work environment and better work conditions.
You're not getting hit over the head like you do from corporate places that overextend themselves. They know exactly what they're going into. They don't overextend themselves, so it creates a less stressful work environment. There's plenty of places we see where they're doing growth and then they push that onto your employees and they tighten and squeeze and they don't make it a fun work environment.
They don't, and you ultimately feel like you're not being treated well.
Exactly.
And so when it's just, and I'm not saying it's not about the numbers, but is it?
Is it? No.
Because they're closed on Sundays.
Exactly. It's about the people. The people make the numbers for you. Yo, when you know a spot, that's almost a philosophy. People are like, man, I went by on a Sunday. I forgot it was Sunday when they went by Chick-fil-A, and they go, they're there the next Monday. Like, I need my fix. Okay,
genius. Who has the cojones to do that?
Right.
But you're right. It actually builds that anticipation for the next time when you're like, oh, I better get it. I better get it on Saturday. And I better get it on Monday because I can't go there on Sunday.
Absolutely.
And as an employee, I could only imagine that if your schedule is out of 6 days instead of 7,
you automatically know at least one day of the week you're off. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
You know it. When you started the job there, you know you can, if you go to church, you can go to church every Sunday. Have no worries about it. If you have plans, you know you can plan around a Sunday. You're golden. Even if you're that employee that works all the other 6 days, your mind lets you digest it. Yo, I have my day of rest.
Yes. Let us know what you think is the biggest reason why Chick-fil-A is so successful. And let me know what your Chick-fil-A go-to experience is like, or what your menu item is. Because we did touch upon the limited menu. I want to know what you like. This is Marlon Joseph, the Modern Waiter.
I'm Danny Deville. Subscribe, people.
We'll see you next week.
Later.